Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a really nifty little box that's come out of E. Power Biggs, who they're now calling Edward Power Biggs, interestingly, playing historic organs in Europe. This was a 6-disc set, and it's a 6 CD set, in which, obviously, he plays historic organs in Europe. Now, for those of you who are too young to have been there at the outset, organ music is kind of a world apart for a lot of people. It's like opera and some other things. It's a niche. And it's as much about the instrument as it is about the person who plays the instrument. It really is, because the organist is wholly at the mercy of the instrument on which they're working and its location and the acoustic environment and how well it's been maintained. And some of these instruments are hundreds and hundreds of years old, and they've been revamped and diddled and futzed with. And so, it's a whole thing. But you had to have been there in the 60s and 70s for Organ Wars. That was E. Power Biggs on Columbia and Virgil Fox on RCA. And these guys just went at it. They gave concerts at Madison Square Garden, for heaven's sake, playing Bach. I mean, it was a huge deal and attracted massive crowds. It was a real pop phenomenon. Really kind of amazing. There's nothing in the classical music world that's even remotely equivalent to it. It was almost like the Three Tenors, only it was an organ thing, as hard as that may be to believe now. And they were marvelous musicians. They really were. And also great showmen, particularly Virgil Fox. E. Power Biggs was a little bit more staid, I think. But still, they were enormously popular. They sold billions of records, and we need big boxes devoted to both of them, even if they'll only sell one copy. I mean, what the hell? Do it. So let's take a look at what these things are and see what's in here. I mean, you get very interesting composers, too, playing music, music by these composers on the organs for which they were written. You get all the, excerpts of the original liner notes by E. Power Biggs himself. By the way, he's E. Power Biggs now. And oh, wow, look, the notes by Jed Disler, ClassicsToday.com's very own Jed Disler. So this is really, really cool. Let's see. Let's talk about what's on these things, just so you know and get a sense of it. I would grab this, especially if you're not a fan of organ music, because it has real historical resonance. There's a lot of interesting repertoire, and you'll have get a real feel for some of the quirky, interesting personality behind the great organists and some of the great organs, which of course have their own personalities as well. So, historic organs of Switzerland. It's the Sion Basilique, the Basilica of Notre Dame de Valère organ from 1435. How's that for an organ? One manual, and a pedal and 8 registers, meaning, little things you pull out to change which pipes are piping. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. The pitch was 3% too high. It contained distortions and stronger compression. We've restored these recordings by working from the stereo work reel. As a result, the running times differ from the ones given in the LP. Okay, well, as long as they fix it, who cares? This is from 1965, and you get anonymous. You get some anonymous things. Anonymous little organ sniglets. Leoninus, the guy who invented polyphony, along with Leonin and Perrotin and those people. Then Perrotinus, there he gets motets for Hec Dies. Now, some of these pieces are vocal works, which are transcribed for the organ or played in instrumental transcriptions. So you've got like millions of pieces here. I mean, just a gazillion pieces here. Oh my goodness. So you have Conrad Palman and Johannes Cotter, Thomas Tallis, Gloria Tibi Trinitas. Well, that's fun. A lot of anonymous stuff. Juan Ambrosio Dalza, Sitzberg, Reformiert Kirche Salzburg. Oh, okay, it's a different organ. And Henry Purcell, his Chaconne in F major. Johann Michael Bach. Just an unbelievable selection, let's just say, of people. If I do all 400,000 things, there's Clarambeau. And, J.S. Bach. Good, he's on here too. That's exciting. So you've got, let's see, the organs in Sitzberg and the organ in Sion. There you go, in Switzerland. And we have enough of that, right? I think we get a sense of it. I mean, I'm totally garbled in reading through these things. There's so much stuff here. Then we've got historic organs of Spain. We have the cathedral in Toledo. The organ was built in 1798. 2 manuals with a pedal board and 33 different registers. Antonio Soler, well, we know who those people are. Jean-François d'Andrieux, well, some people know who that is. A bunch of anonymous people. And then in Segovia, the Nuestra Señora de la Asunción y de San Frutos, the Segovia Cathedral. Isn't that easier? That's really easier. This is a 1702 organ. Some of these are kind of wheezy and strange sounding, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? I mean, this is authentic instruments. Really authentic instruments. Organs are some of the most authentic instruments that are left. Then Salamanca, the Cathedral Nueva, the new Cathedral of Salamanca, from an organ from 1744. And then Madrid, the Chapel of the Royal Palace in Madrid from 1778. 3 manuals, a pedal, and 43 registers. You've got Luis Milan and Antonio Valente. And I can just freak out. CD3, historic organs of Italy. You've got Bologna, the Basilica de San Petronio from 1471 to 1475. Oh, Frescobaldi music, Frescobaldi was a wonderful composer. And Bologna, from the Basilica, it's still in Bologna. We already talked about him. Okay, we've got some Gesualdo transcriptions. And, it's a Galliard, that's not a transcription. From Brescia, the Church of San Carlo, 1636. Whew. And Benedetto Marcello, and Domenico Tippoli, and Lugo, the Cathedral at Lugo, and Ravenna, from 1797, with Andrea Gabrielli and Adriano Banchieri. Lots and lots of things. Oh, Bernardo Storace, let's not forget him, Storace, and Bergamo, from the Borgo Palazzo, pardon me, from 1857, a two manual organ with 48 registers. Historic organs of France. Oh, now we're going to get some hot stuff here, right? France, yes, we had Cavalier Coll and some of the great organ builders of the 19th century. Let's see how many there are. We've got Francois Couperin. We've got, Marmoutier. The Église de l'Abbé Saint-Étienne, 3 manuals, 28 registers from 1710. Then Erbsmünster, the Église de l'Abbé Saint-Maurice, from 1730. It's a Silbermann organ. He's the guy who built Bach's organs. He was Bach's favorite organ guy. Nicolas Lebegu, I can't pronounce it. Claude Balbastre, and Clarenbolt again, and then more in Marmoutier and Erbsmünster and all those people. Okay, so we're staying Baroque. We're not getting into the 19th century and the big symphonic organs. Then we've got England, number 5. Adlington, Cheshire, Adlington Hall, organ attributed to Bernard Father Smith, 1670, with Dunstable, Ashton, Preston, Stoughton, Harold, Leicestershire, Leicestershire. The organ attributed to it's the same guy, attributed to the same guy. Pardon me. John Dowland, Henry Purcell, Thomas Tallis, Christopher Tye, all those fun English guys. London. There we go. Possession of Noel Mander. Boy, his house must be something else if he's got this organ stuffed in it. The organ of 1670, built for New College, Oxford. 1 manual, 4 registers. The organ builder is the same guy, Bernard Father Smith. He did a lot of that work back in those days. Let's see. And that's more London stuff. Oh, yeah, gosh, endless London stuff. Great Packington in Warwickshire. St. James Church, the Handel organ, built by Thomas Parker to designs by Handel. 2 manuals, 10 registers. And we've got Handel's Aylesford Pieces, which most people have not heard. So that's fun. And some stuff by John Stanley and, Bexley in Kent. The Chapel of Danson House. The organ is built by John or George England. One of them, they look the same. You can't tell them apart. 1 manual, 10 registers. These are mostly small organs playing Baroque music. The organ in those days was not the enormous, kahuna that it later became, especially in these chapels and private chapels. So it's wonderful to hear all the different sounds that come out of these smaller, more intimate organs in music that was not built to, just blow your brains out, in a Madison Square Garden type setting. Then we've got famous organs of Holland and North Germany. Oh, famous people. Buxtehude and those guys were all there. So we've got Lüneburg. I mean, Bach was around there. The Bach-Bohm organ, designed by Henrik Niehoff or somebody like that. 3 manuals and a pedal, 51 registers playing Bach. And then, oh my goodness, Uithuizen. It must be in Holland somewhere. It's a Schnitger organ, an Arp Schnitger. Those are also famous in Bach's day from 1700 with 2 manuals and 28 registers. And we hear Gerardus Skronks. Skronks rhymes with Bronx. That's where the name came from. It's Dutch. There's Skronks and Bronx and Glonks and Plonks and Ronks and anyway. Telemann and let's see, Zwolle. Here we've got an organ by George and Johann Georg and Franz Caspar Schnitger again. More Schnitgers. Sveling's wonderful. Everything he wrote is fabulously cool. Ludingworth in Cuxhaven, the Church of St. Jacobi the Elder. And this is another Schnitger organ from 1682 to 83. This is Arp Schnitger, the older Schnitger, based on a previous instrument from 1598. We've got some Buxtehude. And then in Dedesdorf, St. Laurentius Church, more Buxtehude. Buxtehude was one of the great composers, of course, of German sacred music and organ works before Bach. And Bach, he's one of the guys Bach walked, everywhere, for like years to go to Lübeck to hear Buxtehude perform, and got in trouble because he didn't want to come back to wherever he was supposed to be. And, and he auditioned, of course, for Buxtehude's job, but the deal was that you had to marry Buxtehude's daughter, and everybody tried out for the post. And then when they saw Buxtehude's daughter, they all ran away. Telemann tried out for the job. I think Mattheson tried out for the job. Handel tried out for the job. And the joke is that everybody tried out for the job, but nobody wanted to marry Buxtehude's daughter. But eventually he found somebody named Schieferdecker to marry his daughter, Anna. I think her name was Anna Maria Buxtehude. And I wish her name was something like Euphrodisia. I always said that. It would have been so much more fun. But she married Schieferdecker, and Schieferdecker took over the job. And Lübeck became an uninteresting musical backwater as soon as that happened. Alkmaar. Oh, the great church at Alkmaar. This is like a big deal organ. 2 manuals and a pedal with music by Konrad Paulmann. And let's see, Peter Cornett, he's doing some stuff. And then Breda, the organ. It's a Flentrop organ. Inner parts, and a Gebrüders Vermeulen organ, outer parts, from 1958. Obviously, it had some restoring to be done. Anyway, that's the deal. Okay, you get a sense of it. I know it's like just an endless list of things and people you've never heard of, and I've rambled on now for like 14 minutes. But the point is that E. Power Biggs was an amazing organist, and these were very enterprising recordings when they were first released. In the 60s, really kind of amazing because they are authentic instruments playing music people never heard of. But such was his reputation that people would listen and would buy these things. And you might want to give them a try. I was happy to see this coming out. Every so often, one of the major labels amaze me. Things pop out. You never know. So they deserve credit for doing it, and they deserve your support. And the music will entrance you as often as not. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.